All right. Hello, welcome everybody. Special hello to Texas today, and here we have somebody who thinks a lot about many things and puts them out into everything. Here we have an American creator.
What's up? My name's Liv McBride. Yeah, I like making stuff.
What inspires you?
Really, it could be anything, man. That's the thing about it. Like, it's just I'll see something sometimes that just sparks my interest or gives me an idea. Like, I don't really have. I guess one of the cool things about creating to me is I don't really have a set like limit to what I'm thinking about doing or wanting to do. It's not for me. It's not about the subject matter being something that I like. It's more about letting the ideas come to me and then just being the sort of thing to put them on paper or put them out there. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And did you go to school for this, or what'd you?
Well, I went to school for graphic design. I did a lot of that during my college years. Did a lot of just, I guess, painting and drawing just growing up. And once I got older, I wanted to take the art and do something, I guess, like with a career with it. And graphic design just seemed like a feasible thing to do. You know, it was something that I knew I could probably get a job doing. I don't know, being an artist is hard because you got to take a lot of risks and lose a lot to gain something from it. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
But if you're passionate about it, it's worth it. You know, I mean.
Oh yeah, I got you. So
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me give you an example. A blue painting. What would you add to that?
A blue painting?
All right. You got a canvas. It's blue. What are you gonna add to that?
What's the first thing that pops in my head?
Yeah. Start creating right now.
Honestly, I just see, for some reason, white.
White. All right.
But like,
Boom.
I don't know, maybe like some kind of I like painting abstract stuff. I'm not very good at, it's weird because I think painting is probably a lot like tattooing, in that you can't really, erase a mistake with paint. You can't really do that with a tattoo.
That's true.
But for some reason, I'm way more confident in the tattoo machine. With painting, it's like I have so much respect for painters because they sort of nail it in the first go. Even though I know they're not really nailing it in the first go, they're probably going back and doing the same thing I do with tattooing. But yeah, painting is I don't know, I went off on a tangent with that, but painting is interesting to me because I feel like I can only do it if it's abstract. I'm just not good at doing it in any type of like real way or like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I got a famous painter that comes into mind. What do you think about Van Gogh?
I like Van Gogh. I will be honest with you and tell you that his artwork, for some reason, it doesn't inspire me creatively. But that's not to say that he's not a legend in his own right, and he doesn't inspire plenty of artists, because I know he does. And that's the cool thing about art is it could be anything that could inspire a style or inspire you to try something new, you know. I would say if I was going to pick an artist, an older artist or style that I'm more influenced by, I would say I really like Hieronymus Bosch.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, I don't know if you know him.
I don't think I've heard of that man. Yeah.
So he has a famous painting called it's like the Garden of Earthly Delights. So it's like a triptych thing. It's like 3 paintings that makes up like the Garden of Eden, I guess. Okay. But then he also has a painting that depicts hell.
Oh wow!
And it's really interesting. It has some very like weird stuff on it. There's like a bird eating a guy that has a flute going up his butt.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's just the most random stuff. Like it's a very interesting painting. You should totally check it out if you have the time.
And earlier, let's rewind a bit. You mentioned that you do tattooing, and that we're actually currently in his tattoo shop. So this man is trying to start a tattooing business. You know, when was your first tattoo done? You have tattoos on you right now?
I guess I fell in love with tattooing just because it was a new art form in a sense, but I always just liked the way people looked with them, you know? I just think people look cool with tattoos. It's an inspiring thing. When I would see somebody with a sleeve or something, I was just like, man, I gotta have that. I mean, that's just so cool, you know? Like, I want to express myself that way, not to get the attention from other people. It's more so just to be able to, like, show off how much I love art in a way that's permanent, you know what I mean?
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you when you go to, like, say, do you go to the beach, do you wear sunscreen?
Actually, I don't even really go out in the sun.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. If I'm out in the sun
Okay.
for more than about 5 minutes, like I literally will turn the color of an apple and be
Oh.
in extreme pain for a few days.
Appling. So, what type of food feeds you? Do you eat to have this creativity?
Food?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I would recommend my dietary habits as a form of creativity. It's probably not very healthy. I eat a lot of pasta and cheese and sweets and stuff I shouldn't eat. I mean, I do eat other stuff, but yeah, I'm probably more like a 13-year-old or 12-year-old kid when it comes to like my eating habits. I can admit that.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, a lot of fast food stuff that I don't need to be eating. Yeah.
All right. So, in tattooing, have you tattooed other people before?
Oh yeah. I've been tattooing for about 6 years. I've been. It's fun. The reason I'm opening my shop is because, truth be told, I've been fired from about 4 or 5 tattoo shops, and for a long time I always felt like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But the whole time I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just didn't agree with certain things or ways about going about things that weren't really me doing something wrong. But I guess it was more like it revealed that maybe I don't need to be working for somebody else. Maybe I need to just do my own thing.
True. I feel
So that was kind of a good thing. It was like going through that experience of like losing something that I had strived so hard to get to. You know what I mean? Like 4 or 5 times, it's like anybody else in their right mind would be like, it's got to be me. There's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I'm the common denominator here. But deep in my heart of hearts, I've always known that like I'm passionate about this. I love it, and I love it for what it is. I don't care about how much money I get to make or how popular I get or how famous I am in town for my art. I just like the experience of getting to know people and getting to spend some time with them in a very intimate moment for maybe one day and never see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some really cool experiences, like really emotional experiences with people, like that have gone through loss and stuff like that I've done work for that, I've witnessed like cry looking at their tattoo when I got done. It's like, dude, I don't care how much money I make off of something. Nothing will ever pay me like that will. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've dealt with a lot of insecurities growing up and feeling like I wasn't good enough. Even though everybody around me is like, you're so talented, you can draw so good. And it's like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like to see this person look at their tattoo in a mirror and tear up. Like, that's a whole different feeling, man. Somebody just be like, man, you can draw so good. You know what I mean? It's like, you did something special for that person, dude. Like, that's a very, like, cool thing to feel. And unfortunately, a lot of tattoo artists don't get to feel that because they're driven by money and popularity and pride. And I'm not talking shit. It is what it is. It's just the ego-driven field. I'm saying there's a lot of competition in it. I mean,
you're almost like a therapist, almost.
Yeah, so for sure, dude. I mean, I have people that tell me that all the time. They come in and they get tattooed with me. They're like, "Oh, this is my therapy." You know what I'm saying? This is like because like, I mean, not only is it the pain of tattooing sort of take your mind off of maybe some of the real pains that you're going through in life for a minute, and reminds you that like that pain's not that bad. This pain sucks right now.
True.
It's like a sort of a nice little thing to feel for a second, but also. I'm a very open book, man. I want somebody to feel so comfortable in my booth that, like, they can open up about anything with me. I'm not going to judge them, and nothing leaves my booth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true.
And people come here, I think, to vent. Do you know what I'm saying? To talk to me because I'm sort of an unbiased, like, figure in their life. I'm not somebody that knows them on a level that, like, I know every detail about them, but at the same time, I know enough about them that they're comfortable enough to open up with me and maybe admit things they would be embarrassed to admit to somebody that they knew close,
Yeah, and like you said, it just stays in the booth.
Yeah, and people tell me, they're just like, yeah, it's nice to be able to come in here and just like talk and hang out and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, shoot,
yeah. And that's cool. That's cool to me.
So like you said, many people are getting like relatives. And what is the most common tattoo you see being done?
That's a good question. I mean, I'd say probably the most common thing I do is flowers, floral
Flowers?
stuff. I mean, in general, yeah. There's going to be a flower incorporated with something somehow, or they want just flowers, and I kind of have an obsession with like vines. Like I would really like just freehand tattooing vine work, like in between stuff on people. But I mean, it just depends, man. I mean, you have this whole group of people that like they get tattoos and they'll come in here and it's something this big, it's just a word or a date, but it means so much to them. But then you have guys like me who are just like, dude, you pick something that like you've been dying to do that you drew that nobody else is like really cool with you doing because it's like weird and wacky. I want that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see it until we get done. Like,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I like to do it. It's
I got
fun,
you.
man. Like, but I get that not everybody has the commitment to it, doing something and trusting somebody on that level. But
True.
it takes a little easing into. Everybody that gets tattooed for the first time is very like have a million questions about everything to the point where it's like you know that they're nervous about following through with this commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like even though they want to do it, it's like. But once it's done, you know?
It's like having a baby, you know?
I mean, like, when I got my hand tattooed, like, it was kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's your hand, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at that all the time, it's clean, you can see your fingers, and, like, I got this done, and I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, that's there forever. Like, that's not going anywhere now. That's it. Like, I made that choice. You know, like, that thought crossed my mind, but it's like, after you made that choice, it's so much easier to come in and be like, let's do something fun this time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not as nervous about getting something up here now that I've already broken that, you know? It's just about why you're doing it, man. Don't come get tattoos if you're trying to, like, look cool. Or if you're doing it because you want other people to notice you, or that's an awful reason to get tattooed. You get tattooed because you want to get tattooed. I have dumb stuff tattooed on me in the eyes of a lot of people. They're like, why would you get that? Because I like it.
True.
I like it. You know what? I love cheese, dude. I love cheese. Yeah, so I put a piece of cheese on me.
Cheese on them?
That's why it's there. You know what I'm saying? It's like no other reason. And then I have some tattoos on me, like mosquito. I'm really allergic to them. Like I'll pass out.
Bad.
Oh, so it's kind of funny and ironic to get one tattooed on me because I hate them. You know, I don't know. It's just like that's the fun of it, man.
I remember one time I was walking outside doing my little thing, and then a mosquito went into my eye. And I was flailing on the ground for a couple minutes, so I got a little fear of mosquitoes too. But I can understand that. It was really like, wow, you know, you don't like mosquitoes, but it's like almost overcoming that fear of
it's kind of like exactly, yeah. It's like subconsciously, like even though I know that like if I get bit like probably like five or six times, I'm gonna be over here like. You know, like trying to stay awake because that's how I get with it. I have to eat this, you know, the crap out of some Benadryl to get rid of it, and they'll turn into these whelps that are like this big. Ooh. Yeah, but long story short, yeah, it's kind of a way to like tell myself that like it's all mind over matter, anyways. You know, the mosquito is just it's just some ink and some skin when it comes down to it, man. You know,
I feel you.
I mean, unless it has like maybe like malaria in it or something.
That's not good.
Might have a real problem. Yeah.
So, have you thought of any famous celebrity that you would want to put a tattoo on?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Barack Obama, you know, somebody like
Honestly, first person that comes to mind, and a lot of people would probably hate me for saying this, would be Corey Taylor from Slipknot. Yeah, I don't know. They're not really in my favor right now. They might not really make the best decisions as a band, I don't think, and fans are kind of pissed about it. But it's one of those people that like I would probably black out the whole moment I was tattooing him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get starstruck. I know it sounds like, oh, I don't get starstruck. I don't. Like I see them as regular people. But there are a few people that if I was around, I'd be like, holy crap, I'm really talking to you right now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Corey Taylor would definitely be one of those. And Joe Rogan. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I've just been. I was on my Spotify the other day. It said that I listened to 18,000 hours of Joe Rogan. I was in his top 0.2% of listeners. I was like, that's kind of sad, you know. Like, but I just.
Hey, yo, Joe Rogan, if you're listening, man, right here, listening.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll catch wind of this at some point. You know
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
He'll come here and get.
I mean,
maybe.
I mean, Chris D'Elia. You know Chris D'Elia? Stand-up comic.
I don't think so.
Well, somehow I made it onto his podcast. Like I sent a video and he picked it and responded to it. Well, like it was about 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm gonna try to get on it again.
Oh, sure.
Why not?
That's pretty good.
And I got on it again this
that's
past week.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, it's just about making connections, man. If you wanna get somebody's attention like that, you can. You know the movie Talk to Me, the horror movie.
No.
Talk to Me. It's got the hand with the the names written on it, and like all the kids like they hold the hand and it's like talk to me. It's an A24 movie, same company that did Conjuring and all that.
I haven't seen
Well, I mean, if you look up top horror movies of the year, like it's going to be in the top list for sure. But like, not bragging, but I did a tattoo of the hand from Talk to Me on my buddy's leg. I tagged A24 and I tagged the directors in it, and sure enough, he commented on it and he said, "Dude, this is sick." And then he shared it to his story.
Wow.
The director of the movie.
Yeah,
I was like, bro,
chill.
that like people just like don't try things that they go ahead and tell themselves like, oh, they're never gonna like it back. Or they're why would I even waste my time? No, dude, I do it for everything. It just blow your mind. The people that will actually respond to you, man. Like, you know what I mean? If you actually try to, you know, do something cool and get their attention to see it. I mean, sometimes it doesn't go in your favor positively, I guess. I got trolled pretty hard on the Chris D'Elia podcast, my second video.
Shoot.
He like picked on me pretty good.
Oh, damn.
But it was funny. It was funny. It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
It's roasting. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's a comedian. That's what.
Yeah.
So,
For
okay.
sure. I knew what I was getting into with it. So.
And like the process of like you know, what is the first process in tattooing? Like, do you get the needle out of like I don't know, a haystack or something? You know, like, how do you do this?
I mean, for me, it's different for every artist, but for me, I'm very big on like creating a good relationship and like communication with my client or customer, whatever you want to call them. I basically will figure out what they want to do, where they want to put it, and then I'll usually get them to kind of send me like maybe 5 to 10 references, photos of like maybe 5 or 10 tattoos that are done of that thing they like. And they like the way those tattoos look. They like the style of them. It doesn't. I'm not going to copy them. I just want to get a general idea of where their head's at on how they want this thing to look. So if I have more than, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures, I can sort of put those together in my mind to kind of come up with a good, like, average idea of what they're going for. Mm-hmm. And so from there, I'll basically draw it up, the design, and then I'll send it to them and let them, most of the time people like what I do. But sometimes people are like, I don't really care for that part. You can take that out or leave that out. Or can we change this? Can we change this flower to this? And I'll make those changes. We'll get back to them. And then once it's where we're both satisfied with it, that makes it easier to where when they come in to actually get it done, we don't have to waste time with all that. You know what I'm saying? I got it ready. We know exactly what we're doing. And basically, I put the stencil on them with it's like a temporary tattoo. It's just like, it was literally what it is. I print out my line drawing. So what I'll do is if something's colored in, you have like a coloring book, right?
Yeah.
Coloring book. When you get it, it's just lines, right? And then you fill it in with your color. So when I'm tattooing, what I want is just those lines. Because if I have color on that stencil, it's going to be a mess. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to see what I'm doing. But I'll put that on them, and you let it dry for a little bit. And as long as everything goes as planned, which it does most of the time, but you do get 1 or 2 people who just don't want to hold that stencil.
Ooh.
And so the entire tattoo is me just like dancing around it, trying so hard not to wipe the thing off in the middle of me doing it. And you do it long enough, you get to where it doesn't really stress you out to the point where you're like sweating and scared. Because when you first start tattooing, man, you get in those moments where that's happening. You're just like, what am I doing right now to this person? Why am I doing this? This is stupid. This is so stupid. And you just keep going. It's weird. It's like, when I look back on it, I'm like, how did I get through that? How did I get through those scary moments and just say, keep doing it, dude? But I think it's because part of it was I got to a place in my life where I knew this was like, this might be the last, I'm 37 years old. This might be the last, like, hoorah of like giving a shot at doing something like that I want to do with my life. You know what I mean? And really getting it and going for it. And it's like you work so hard at your apprenticeship and get that far in it to get that privilege and the opportunity to be able to tattoo. I mean, not everybody gets that chance, man. It's hard to take that for granted, basically. It's one of those things that's like, nah, dude, I worked too hard to get here. Like, I'm going to do this. I don't care if it's just scary. I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it. And you blame the needles. You blame the ink. This sucks. I got to get different needles. These needles suck. And then one day, you just start tattooing with anything and everything, and you just do it. And you realize that you're just making excuses because you sucked at what you were doing and you were trying to get better.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have an apprentice and he's in that stage, you know what I'm saying? And he'll use one of my needles and he'll be like, man, those needles suck, you know what I'm saying? They're too thin, you need to use this or whatever. I'm like, well, you tell me what I need to use.
Yeah,
but second of all, I was there at one point in time. It's like you want to blame everything but you, and I'm like, Tyler, you're just not good enough yet. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing. It's just where he's at. I mean, he's amazing where he's at. He's gonna be a sick tattoo artist. I'm stoked for him. But yeah, it's funny. I guess like anything, riding a bike or whatever. You know, I mean, you get the training wheels off, and you're like, oh my god, this is so scary. You're gonna fall. You're gonna screw up. But it's like you sort of like every time you pick that bike up and you try it again, when you get to that spot where you know it's hard for you, you're gonna try something a little different this time.
That's fine.
I'm saying you're gonna go this way instead of that way to see what happens. You might fall over again.
Or you might be better going that way, you know?
Yeah, but you might realize, hey, everybody else was this way, but when I go this way, it's a little bit easier for me. So, and you realize, hey, I might have these techniques, these things that I'm doing where somebody might walk over and be like, holy crap, how are you doing it? Running it at that speed? Or like, because this is the way I learned. You know what I'm saying? It's a very personal experience learning to tattoo. I mean, you get taught how to do it, but there's only so much that somebody can teach you before you just have to sort of do it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, you don't practice on people, you know? I mean, you practice on fake skin or fruit or whatever. Or you can practice on your own self, but I mean, you do that for months and months and months, and the second you hit skin for the first time, it's like, holy crap, this is scary. What am I doing?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because it's different. But there's nothing you can do to prepare for it. It's just one of those things that you just do, you know? If you're passionate about it.
True. What is one of the hardest tattoos that you've done? That you were like you say in that state that you were, but times 10, you know?
Probably. So I did this tattoo out of state. It's illegal to tattoo above the collarbone in South Carolina. But I have a few buddies that work in North Carolina at shops, and so like if I wanted to tattoo, like say you wanted to tattoo behind your ear or something.
Yeah.
We could drive up to North Carolina. I let them know, hey, but you know, can I rent the booth out for this weekend and I do it on you? It's legal. It's fine. Just making that known before I say this, because I don't want people to think I'm illegally doing anything. Yeah. But I did a tattoo on the back of the head right here. And if you don't tattoo, it's really hard to explain why that tattoo is not what you're thinking it's going to be. But let's just say it's completely different than any other tattoo. Most spots, like let's say I tattoo your here, right? Yeah. There's another spot I'm going to compare that to. Like, you know, tattooing your knee is a little bit like tattooing your elbow. You know what I'm saying? Same type of skin. I know it's how it's going to react the same. Back here, it's its own thing. And my buddy didn't shave his head good. I didn't shave the hair down enough. So I had a lot of stubble. The stencil was wiping off immediately. So I'm losing the stencil under the stubble. There's black ink everywhere. And this is like not too long ago, and I was like mad. I was just like not even like stressing. I was just like, dude, this is supposed to be like this tattoo is supposed to be fun. I was looking forward to this. I was excited about it, and now I don't want to do it. That's how mad I am right now. Yeah. Because I get this place sometimes. I'm very over analytical, man. I get in my head sometimes where like if I overthink too hard on like things that I do all the time with no problem, I literally can get to a place where I feel like it's the first day of me doing it. Like, and in that day, I was struggling. Like, I was looking at the tattoo, looking at the picture, looking at the tattoo picture before I'd pull the line, making sure. Okay, this right. When normally I'm just like, just do it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? But when I get in that place, man, it's hard to come out of that, and it's frustrating because I want to get on autopilot. You know, like when you're driving home and you just like kind of pull up in your driveway and you're like, I don't even remember driving. Like I know
that's kind of scary though.
Yeah, but I know I did a freaking awesome job of it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like you like sort of daze out. That's how I get with tattooing sometimes. That sounds scary. Like you don't want your artist to be like, hey man, I just need to space out before I get good. You know? Dude, yeah. But I do. Like the more you question me, the more you ask me, hey, what's this gonna look like? Are you sure this is gonna look good? This or that. The more I'm starting to, I don't know. Is it gonna look good? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it won't look good. And then I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You do this every day. You know it's going to look sweet. Convince this guy to be quiet and just trust the process. Trust the process. It's all about it, dude.
I got you.
And that's why I love art, though. That's why it's fun for me, is the process. I love seeing something that's blank and watching it. This is the thing about art, man. I'm going to say this right here. This is a statement about art that I say all the time. I feel sort of bad sometimes when people praise me with my talents and my abilities because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to sound like some magic, like spiritual guy, because this is not what it is. But I don't know where some of these things come from. It's literally like without sounding mumbo jumbo-y, it's like this idea is given to me. It's like channeled through me through the paper. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know where this thing came from. I just saw it and I put it down so that I could show y'all.
What are your thoughts? Now saying that, what are your thoughts on say like art that I've seen once in a while that is just a blank canvas? What is your reaction to that?
Dude, so it depends on the context of it. So, installation art, which is what you kind of, I guess you're getting at, like, which is be basically like, so one of the most famous installation pieces I always loved is this artist, I can't remember his name right now, but he did like a urinal, you know, you would pee in the bathroom, right? And signed it with his surname R. Mutt. And it was this like, it was a piece about like, I'm trying to think the best way to explain this. Like, yeah, so like if you took a blank canvas and you just put it under a light on a wall, right? And that's all that's there. You could be making a statement that's saying, hey, art can be interpreted in any way possible. Whatever you see on that is art. Whatever your vision on that white canvas is, it is art. Whether it's something different that this person saw, and that sort of is a metaphor for this bigger analogy to how we all are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's the art in that. It's not really about what's on the canvas, it's about what that represents. That simple idea of like a new start, a new fresh start. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah, what it feels like to like be inspired and start from scratch with nothing, like that feeling of like fresh new art that you haven't started yet. That's the way I would interpret it, looking at it, you know.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Like Jackson Pollock, I don't know if you know who he is. So you ever seen the painter that like was famous for just taking his brush and just splattering stuff all over it?
A couple of them do that. Colorful.
So Jackson Pollock is like the most famous known painter for that. I mean, there was a movie that what's his name, Ed, whatever, I can't remember his last name. Anyways, he plays him, and you realize that like, so a lot of people talk trash about him. They're just like, dude, this guy sucks. Like all he does is just take I could do this. I could go up to this thing and sprinkle paint on it, right? Yeah, you could do that, but guess what? You aren't him. When you own a piece by Jackson Pollock, you own a moment of like turmoil in this man's life, dude. A real piece of his life. Like that can't, like, he had a room in his house, right? It was upstairs, and like it's crazy. You can find pictures of it online, like after he moved out, and like the room is just like splattered with paint from where he worked. But like, I think Jackson Pollock, I picture in my head, man, he would walk up to a canvas after just going through all of this like emotion in his life and just pain, and he's just like, you know what I'm saying? He's just like, literally, he's forcing every bit of his feeling into that thrust of paint. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. He captured it. He wrote that journal entry down with paint. Mm-hmm. And when you buy that painting, you're buying that moment, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's huge, bro. Like, that's so deep. It's sad to me that most people or some people won't ever get to appreciate art on a level like that. You know, they're just seeing it as speckles on a canvas. I'm like, dude, it sucks that you can't see it for more than that, because I see like a whole man's life in like I own a piece of this man's history for that hour, 2 hours, or however long it took him to paint that. True. You know? And that's what tattoos are, man. You know, I don't care if I have a tattoo of like cheese on me or whatever. It's like, for me, it's not about the subject matter sometimes. It's about, you know what? I took that day with me forever, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I got this done on the day that Ethan did it. And I remember the conversations we were having. I remember hanging out when I got it done. And it was never done on any other days. It was never touched up on any other days. That happened on that day. And so when I look at that, it reminds me of that day with Ethan, my buddy. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what the tattoo means. Yeah, it's a TV. It doesn't mean anything, but it does mean everything. You know what I'm saying? To me.
So, tattooing is many things. So much goes into everything, and we just overlook it. And
yeah, I feel like there's just so many beautiful details in things that are just, and it's not that people are shallow or stupid, it's just most people have other things going on. They're not artists. This is all I do is art. I get to expose myself to nothing but this all the time. Of course I'm going to see things and pick up on things that maybe other people wouldn't. But you know, I look at things like just leaves. I walk around my yard and I'll pick up leaves and just look at them, and I'm like, that is so crazy to me how beautiful this one leaf is, dude. How perfect this like colors are on it, and how it just happened that way. Nobody out here painted on it or anything. That just is here, dude. Like, and people laugh at me and they're like, "Oh my god, you're like walking around picking up rocks," you know? I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I am." And I'm looking at that one rock and studying it and appreciating it for what it is. It's like, I sound like some pretentious artist right now, but you know what I'm getting at. It's like, I just want to. I enjoy appreciating the things that we easily take for granted, you know, because we see them so much and we're around it so much.
Well, I appreciate you having you on this podcast, man. It was an honor to have you.
Dude,
It's really cool to have you. And the final question before we leave, and what ethnicity is takes it, like, you know how people get hurt on painting. What ethnicity do you think, you know, they could go paint a whole sleeve and they won't move an inch?
You mean, like, is there a certain
Mexican,
type of person that's
Cubans?
better at getting tattooed?
Yeah, like maybe
And, like,
African
You want to know
American.
the honest truth? Women, man. God, dude, women. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I don't care what my opinion is, what anybody else's opinion is. The statistics show that men are babies when they get tattooed. Women, they fall asleep. They're chilling, but they also have babies.
So y'all heard it here. Women, men, everybody's welcome to his tattoo shop, and hope y'all check him out. I'm gonna leave his Instagram and all his information out and below so I can check him out. Thank you again for being on the
Yeah, man, I
podcast, man.
appreciate you, dude.
Hey, all right. Have a good night, and goodbye, Alaska.